The Channel, Part 2. 3 months after I left Rick's basement, I did the dumbest thing I could have done. I told the internet what happened. It started the night I saw that router in the thumbnail. Same model, same little strip of blue tape on the side. The video title was, "He Thinks He's Safe Now, Real Footage." I didn't click it. I stared at it until the autoplay timer ran down and YouTube tried to shove it in my face anyway. I backed out to the home page, then to my subscriptions, and then turned my phone face down on the table like it was something alive. I didn't sleep that night. All I could think about was some other guy in some other cheap basement lying in bed under a smoke detector that wasn't a smoke detector. I couldn't stop imagining a stranger scrolling, seeing himself in a thumbnail one day the way I had. It felt like I had survived a house fire and then just watched the same house catch fire again with someone else inside. And I was doing nothing. A week later, I wrote a post. I didn't mention my last name, the exact town, or the channel's name. I blurred a screenshot of my room. I changed some details to make it less searchable. I told myself it was just to process things. I posted it in one of those anonymous subreddits where people dump their worst secrets. The title was something like, "My landlord secretly filmed me sleeping and uploaded it to YouTube." I hit submit. My hands were shaking like I'd done something illegal. I expected maybe a few comments. "That sucks, man. You should sue," that kind of thing. Instead, it blew up. People wanted details. They wanted screenshots. They wanted the channel name. They wanted legal explanations. Half the comments were sympathetic. The other half were arguing whether I was lying. Somebody wrote, "I know this channel. I'm pretty sure OP DM me." My chest tightened. I didn't answer at first. I told myself I'd leave the post there for a day and then delete it. I didn't. Because the next DM I got wasn't from some rando wanting drama. It was from someone with the username Throwaway Basement Girl. Her first message was simple. "Hey, I think I'm living in that house now." I reread it 3 times before replying. "What do you mean?" She answered almost instantly. "Basement room, Maryland, separate entrance, private bathroom, 650, landlord named Rick, red commander's shirt. Is that all a coincidence?" My mouth tried my tema. I typed, "How long have you been there?" She answered almost instantly. "About 2 weeks." My fingers hovered over the keyboard. "Have you seen any weird cameras, smoke detectors right above the bed? Anything in the vents?" She sent a photo. It was a quick snap of her ceiling, taken from the bed. The smoke detector was in the same place mine had been, same style, same plastic texture. If you'd shown me that picture 3 months earlier, I would have assumed it was my room. "This is above my bed," she wrote. "Should I be worried?" My heart started pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I asked her to move to a different app, something with encrypted messages. Maybe that was paranoia, but I didn't want this conversation saved on Reddit forever. Her name was Erin, 23. Moved from Pennsylvania for a job in a dental office. Didn't know anyone here. Exactly the kind of person who would say yes to a cheap basement and a landlord who said, "I'm just trying to help people out." She described the house, the driveway, the side gate, the basement layout. It was all the same. The same little window, the same funny low patch of ceiling by the bathroom, the same router in the corner with the strip of blue tape. "Did he tell you not to touch the router?" I asked. "Yeah, actually. Said it was for his work stuff. Why? I stared at my phone. Aaron, I need you to listen to me and not freak out, okay? You're making that impossible, she replied. I'm not joking. I sent her the blurred screenshot from my original video, the one I'd saved before YouTube took it down. Even blurred, you could see the bed, the cheap lamp, the corner of the ceiling. She zoomed in and sent it back with her own photo side by side. Same bed frame, same wall. He said the previous tenant moved out suddenly and left the bed, she wrote. My stomach twisted. That previous tenant was me. At first, she didn't want to believe it. I didn't blame her. When someone tells you your bedroom is on some voyeur's channel, your first instinct is to assume they're insane. So I told her things only someone who'd lived there could know. The bathroom door stuck when it was humid. The right shelf had a tiny crack in the back corner. There was a soft spot in the carpet near the heater where the floor dipped a little. Check, I told her. If I'm lying, you'll know. She sent a video a few minutes later, whispering as she moved around the room. The bathroom door stuck, the crack in the shelf was there, the carpet dipped. Her breathing was fast and uneven in the audio. Okay. So what do I do? First, I typed, don't touch anything, especially the smoke detector. Act normal. Don't let him know you're suspicious. Why? Because if he's watching in real time and he sees you poking around the detector at midnight after reading about hidden cameras, he'll know you know. She didn't respond for a full minute. So you're saying I'm being watched right now? I closed my eyes. I'm saying you might be, I wrote. We need proof. I called Tyler. He didn't hesitate. Dude, we're going over there. We're not letting this happen again. I can't just show up, I said. He knows my face. He'll call the cops on me for trespassing before I can even ring the bell. Then we don't just show up as randos. We go as Aaron's friends, moving help, whatever. Middle of the day, we check everything. I didn't love it. I loved the idea of Aaron lying under that fake smoke detector even less. We set it up for Saturday afternoon. Aaron told Rick some friends from out of town were coming to drop off a few things. He apparently just grunted and said, as long as they don't park in the neighbor's spot. That morning, I woke up sick to my stomach. Tyler showed up at my place with a trunk full of random boxes to make the story look real. You sure about this? He asked as we drove. No, I said, but I'm more sure that I couldn't live with myself if I did nothing. The street looked exactly the same. Same trimmed lawns, same mailboxes, same cracks in the sidewalk. My hands were sweating so badly I left damp marks on the cardboard box I carried. Erin was waiting by the side gate when we pulled up. She was smaller than I expected, in an oversized hoodie and jeans, her hair pulled into a tight bun. Her eyes were red-rimmed like she hadn't slept. Daniel? She asked. Yeah. She gave Tyler a quick, nervous nod when I introduced him. Rick's at work, she whispered. He said he won't be back until late. We'll be quick, I said. We're just looking. You can still decide what to do after we see what's actually here. We moved the boxes in to make it look real for any nosy neighbors, then closed the basement door. Suddenly, it was just us and the low, familiar ceiling. The room hit me like a smell I haven't thought about in years. Same ugly paint, same lamp, same hum of the heater. My bed. Her bed now. Show me the smoke detector, I said.
I climbed onto the mattress like I had that night months ago. The detector looked identical. The screw was in the same position. My fingers trembled as I twisted. It came loose. Inside, a battery, a little nest of wires, and fixed behind them, just where I remembered, was a tiny, black, glassy eye. Aaron sucked in a breath. Tyler swore under his breath. "Okay," I said, trying to keep my voice level. "Okay, there it is. We've got proof." I pulled my phone out and took a dozen photos from every angle. Tyler filmed it on his. "Is it recording right now?" Aaron whispered. I looked closer. There was no obvious red light, but some devices didn't have one. There was a cable running from the back of the housing up into the ceiling, disappearing into the dark. "I could be," I said. "Or it could be saving to something." I nodded toward the router in the corner. "Or streaming." "I've been changing in here," Aaron said quietly. "Sleeping. She cut herself off, pressing her lips together hard. "Aaron, hey, look at me." She did. "This is illegal," I said. "You're not crazy. You weren't overreacting. He's the one breaking the law, not you. We're going to document everything. And you're not staying here another night, okay?" Tears welled in her eyes, but she nodded. "Okay." We put the detector back exactly as it was. "Why?" Tyler asked suddenly. "Why not just rip it out and smash it, or take it with us?" "Because then he knows," I said. "This is the first time we've caught him with evidence. We want him relaxed. We want him thinking he still has control. If he panics, he'll wipe everything before anyone can see it." Tyler grimaced. "Fine. So what now? We can't just stare at the ceiling all day." "No," I said. "We need to find where the feeds go." I looked at the router. I didn't touch it. I wanted to, a lot. To yank it out, stomp on it, throw it in the street. Instead, I bent down and examined it carefully without moving it. Same brand and model as before, same strip of tape. I slid my phone under the stand and took a photo of the back, where all the tables were. There were more than there should have been for a basic home network, extra lines disappearing into small holes drilled into the wall. "You think this is just Wi-Fi or something else?" I asked Tyler. "I'm a video editor, man, not a hacker. I can barely set up my own router." There was a small, locked metal box mounted low on the wall behind a stack of paint cans. I hadn't noticed it when I lived here. Maybe it was new. Maybe I'd just been that oblivious. "What's that?" Aaron asked. "Good question," I said. The lock was tiny, old, the kind you'd use on a gym locker in middle school. Tyler looked at me. "I can get that open," he said quietly. I hesitated. If we broke the lock, there was no pretending we hadn't been here. Then I thought of the thumbnail with the router tape. "Do it," I said. Tyler didn't do anything fancy. He pulled a small screwdriver from his pocket. He'd brought a whole set, in case we need tools, and jammed it into the gap next to the latch, twisting hard. The metal screamed softly and then gave. The lock popped, dangling uselessly. Inside the box was a compact DVR, a few hard drives, more cables, and a little green light blinking steadily. Aaron made a strangled sound. Oh my God. The DVR had a brand logo I didn't recognize. Next to the ports, tiny labels. Cam 1, Cam 2, Cam 3, LAN. All filled. "This is where the cameras go. And this," I pointed to the LAN cable, "probably goes to the router, which goes to the internet." So we tear it out. We take it. Boom, case closed. He can't deny it. I shook my head. We take pictures, lots of them, serial numbers, layout, then we close it like we found it. Erin packs her stuff and leaves. Then we go straight to the police. Not the local station desk guy, the detectives, cybercrime, whatever. This time, it's not just my word. You really think they'll do something? Erin asked. I thought about the board officer who'd shrugged and said they couldn't rip up a landlord's house without a warrant. I think they'll have a much harder time doing nothing, I said. And if they still somehow ignore it, we'll go somewhere that won't. Lawyers, press, I don't care, but we do this step by step. We documented everything. DVR, wiring, router, smoke detector. Tyler puzzled over the DVR for a moment. There's no screen, no keyboard. So he doesn't sit here watching you on a monitor. He just sends it somewhere? The channel, Erin whispered. I didn't say anything, because I suspected she was right. We were about to close the metal box when we heard it. A car door slamming outside. All three of us froze. Thought you said he wouldn't be back until late, Tyler hissed. He said, Erin whispered, going pale. He said he had a double shift. Footsteps came down the side path. The unsuspectable sound of keys jingling. The basement door handle rattled. Erin? You in there? Rick's muffled voice called. My heart jumped into my throat. In my head, I saw the DVR, the popped lock, the slightly twisted smoke detector. We were so sure we had time. Yeah, Erin called back, her voice a little too high, a little too fast. Just, moving some stuff. Who's we? Rick asked. I thought your friends weren't coming till later. I looked at Tyler. His eyes were wide. He mouthed, back door? Window? There was nowhere to go. The tiny basement window was barely enough for a cat, let alone a grown man. The basement door lock turned. Rick stepped in, squinting as his eyes adjusted from the daylight. He looked exactly the same. Same receding hairline, same stubble, same cheap sports t-shirt. His gaze landed on me first. His expression didn't change much, but something in his eyes did. Daniel, he said slowly, didn't expect to see you again? He glanced around the room. His gaze snagged on the router, the smoke detector, the wall where the metal box was. I saw his shoulders tighten almost imperceptibly. Hey, Rick, I said, forcing my voice not to shake. We're just helping Erin get some stuff sorted. Yeah? He said. He stepped further inside, closing the door gently behind him. You don't live here anymore. I know, I said. We just came by to pick up some things I left last time. It was a weak lie. We both knew it. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Funny, he said. You left pretty fast. Didn't even say goodbye. I had to move, I said. Yeah, that's what the cops said too, he murmured. My blood went cold. So, he continued, louder now, looking at Erin now, did my old tenant here tell you I'm some kind of creep? Erin swallowed. He told me some things that worried him, she said carefully. Rick snorted. The internet makes everyone paranoid. In my house, I use cameras for security.
In bathrooms? In bedrooms? I shot back. Streaming to a YouTube channel? You think I wouldn't find that? Something flickered in his eyes then. A tiny flash of surprise, of calculation. Then it was gone. I don't know what you're talking about. And you're trespassing, all of you. You need to leave, now. No, she said, her voice suddenly steady. I'm not staying in a room you record. I'm moving out, today, and I'm not paying you another cent.
Rick turned to her slowly.
You signed a lease, he said. You owe me 30 days of notice, or the rest of the month's rent. That's how it works. You violated my privacy, she said. That's not how it works. He took a step closer to her. Careful, he said softly. Rent's not cheap around here. You leave like this, you might find people don't want to rent to someone who trashes landlords online. The implication hit me a second after it came out of his mouth. He knew about the post. He knew I'd written about him. How many people had sent it to him? How'd you find it? I asked. He glanced back at me, a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. You think I don't know how to use the internet? You kids think you're the only ones who can play detective? Tyler lifted his phone slightly, still recording. Stop filming, Rick snapped. No, Tyler said. Rick clenched his fists. Okay, he said slowly. You want to play games? Fine. Get out of my house, all of you, or I'm calling the police. Please do, I said. We have photos of the hidden camera and the smoke detector, the DVR in the box on the wall, the extra cabling to the router. We'll show them everything. For the first time, the color in Rick's face shifted. Just a little. You broke into a locked box, he said. You damaged my property. You put cameras in a bedroom, Aaron said. I don't think they're going to care about your $10 lock. Rick's eyes flicked between us, calculating. For a moment, I thought he would lunge. Instead, he exhaled sharply and took a step back. You're making a mistake, he said quietly. You think anyone cares? You think the cops are going to blow up their whole day over a couple of cameras in a basement no one wants to live in anyway? You're content, he added, looking right at me. That's all you are, content. You're the ones who keep watching. He pushed past us and stumped up the stairs, slamming the door to the upper level. A second later, we heard another door slam somewhere above, heavier, the front door. He'd left. Or he wanted us to think he had. Pack, I told Aaron. Now, whatever you can grab in 10 minutes. The rest we'll figure out later. We went straight from the house to the police station. This time, we didn't talk to the bored guy at the front desk. We asked for Officer Hayes. He remembered me. Oh, he said, his expression tightening as he looked at the photos on my phone. You weren't exaggerating. We showed him everything. The smoke detector camera, the DVR, the cabling, the router setup, the broken lock. Erin told her side of the story. How she'd moved in, the rules, the rent, how she'd seen my post and messaged me. Tyler played the video of the confrontation, when Rick talked about cameras for security, when he threatened Erin about trashing landlords online. Hayes didn't look bored this time. He looked tired and angry. All right, he said finally. This is enough for probable cause. We'll get a warrant. In the meantime, Erin, do you have somewhere to stay? She can stay at my place for a few days, I said before I could overthink it. Couch, whatever, it's fine. Erin glanced at me, surprised, then nodded. Okay, Hayes said. I can't tell you exactly when we'll go in, but we'll move on it. I'd strongly advise you not to contact him directly again, and if he contacts you, save everything. He hesitated, then added, and for what it's worth, Daniel, you were right to keep pushing. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt tired. The raid happened 3 days later. I wasn't there, obviously, but Hayes called me afterward. He said, we found multiple devices, cameras in the basement, in the upstairs hallway, outside, the DVR you showed me, additional storage in a locked closet. And, I asked, and we confiscated his computers, his phone. We're going through them now. There's a lot of data. He paused. Some of it looks like it was forwarded to third parties, sites, channels, not all on YouTube.
My grip tightened on the phone. "Is he in jail?" I asked. "For now," he said. "We arrested him on charges related to illegal surveillance. The DA is reviewing. I can't tell you how big a case they'll make of it, but this isn't nothing anymore." It wasn't the dramatic justice fantasy part of me wanted. There was no SWAT team kicking down doors, no villainous monologue cut off by handcuffs. Just paperwork, hard drives, slow processes. But it was something. After we hung up, I opened YouTube. The channel was gone. Not no new videos. Not last upload 2 weeks ago. Gone. The search result redirected to a bland page. "This account has been terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines." I stared at it for a long time. You'd think I'd feel instant relief. I didn't. Because I knew 2 things about the internet. Nothing that goes up is ever truly deleted. And if something makes people enough money, someone else will re-upload it. I was right. A week after Rick's arrest, a friend sent me a link. "Is this the same one you told me about?" he texted. The channel name was different. Fewer subs, rougher branding. But the content? Grainy static angles, bedrooms, kitchens, people who didn't know they were being watched. And there, in the middle of a compilation titled "Creepy Landlord Caught on Camera, Real," was a familiar room. My room. My blurred-out shape on the bed. The upload date was new. The footage wasn't. Someone had saved it. Someone had uploaded it again. Only this time, the description read, "Mirrored from deleted channel for educational purposes only." The comments were already filling up. "Damn, this guy again? Didn't YouTube delete this? Anyone got the full archive?" My hands shook as I scrolled. One comment near the top stopped me cold. "OP from Reddit here. This is my old room. The landlord was arrested. Please stop sharing this." I hadn't written it. I didn't know whether that made it better or worse, because it meant there were now multiple people pretending to be me, multiple versions of my story, some sympathetic, some mocking, some outright fake. I'd become a character in someone else's horror anthology. I didn't watch the rest of the compilation. I closed the tab and sat in the dark of my living room for a long time. Erin was sleeping in the other room. She'd found a temporary sublet through a coworker. She kept apologizing for dragging me back into this, like any of it was her fault. Tyler kept threatening to go burn Rick's house down, half joking, half not. Me, I checked my own ceilings, smoke detectors, vents, little black dots that weren't supposed to be there. I knew logically that my new place was fine. The landlord was a retired couple who'd lived there for 30 years. The worst thing about them was the casserole they brought over the first week. But logic didn't matter anymore. You can't unknow that people like Rick exist. You can't unknow that there are entire channels dedicated to turning your most private moments into entertainment. You can't unknow that even when one of them gets shut down and one guy gets arrested, the footage stays, gets mirrored, compiled, archived. Most people think horror is about monsters, ghosts, demons, possessed dolls. But lying in bed at night, staring at the little round smoke detector over my head, I realized something. I never needed a ghost. All it took was a tiny lens, a blinking green light, and a few 100,000 people who thought what happened to me was just content. A few days ago, someone sent me another link. New channel, new name. Found footage basement compilation, real. I didn't click it. I didn't have to. The thumbnail was a room I recognized. But it wasn't mine. Different bed,
different paint color, same router, same strip of blue tape. And for the first time in months, I did something I hadn't done since the night I left Rick's basement. I got out of bed, grabbed a chair, and unscrewed the smoke detector from my ceiling.
This one was clean. Just a battery. Just a sensor. I laughed. It sounded more like choking. Then I sat down at my desk, opened my laptop, and started typing. If you're watching this, check your ceiling. And if you ever see a channel that treats people like me as content, remember that we're not just stories. We're the ones who have to live with the ending. I don't know yet if that will be part of the video you're hearing now. Maybe it already is. Maybe you just paused to glance up at the little white disc on your ceiling. Either way, if your blood feels a little colder in your veins right now, good, because mine never really warmed back up.